So why am I here in front of the Iranian embassy in London? Well, back when I was a kid, back in May 1980, I remember sitting in front of the television watching the British Special Air Service attacking this building behind to release the hostages and take out terrorists in the process. The main point of it was that terrorists had taken over the building, hostages had been taken, and then they started killing them. And so the Special Air Service, British counter-terrorist forces, went in and released the hostages, saving their lives and in the process taking out terrorists. Well, so what? I was never lucky enough to actually work in those environments, none of that excitement for me. But later, when I did end up in the military, I found myself in the military intelligence line, and looking after the good people and protecting them from the bad people was part of what I and my colleagues did. Now the mission may have changed slightly in that now I'm an old bloke working in corporate, but we're still protecting the good people against bad people. And the thing about it is that what we've got now is not physical threats like what's going on behind me here, but cyber, technical attack, things that are really affecting people, the private citizens, small businesses and entrepreneurs. And you know what? I still believe the skills that the military and the police learn in their operational lives can be brought into effect today. And that's why we've put together this quick training, this video, and some of the material we're giving you for free. You want to know how vulnerable you are? Well, when the British National Health Service got hit, and that was a big organisation who should know better and should have known how to protect themselves, that cost them millions. 19 million pounds sterling was lost in the way of operations, and over 72 million cost to repair the IT systems and get things back up. And all of that was caused by the WannaCry virus, which could hit you, could hit your personal computer at home, could hit your small business. But do you know what was really interesting about that WannaCry virus, which actually teaches you some lessons that could be of real value to you, is it was completely avoidable. Before the event actually occurred, the solution to it was already known. Microsoft, and full kudos to them, they put out a patch that actually fixed the problem, and the ports on firewalls, which people should know how to configure, were known how to prevent the exfil of information and how the attacks were going in. And finally, people should have known not to push the magic button. As we keep saying in our training, don't push the big red button. So if somebody sends you a link you don't know about, don't. The big point is that even if all the tech was in place, that would have protected it. But still, even if none of that had happened, the human being on the end of it was the biggest weakness, and that's where the attack. So who am I to be telling you this? Well, my name's Nick, and I'm director at Gord Alex, and I'm ex-military intelligence, as I said, and I've worked in cyber for some time. But better than that, a lot of our friends and associates in the company and some of our staff actually have worked with the best in the world. So GCHQ in the UK, equivalent the NSA to our American colleagues who are watching this, police and military. What we're trying to do is get the message out to everybody that cyber isn't just a thing for big companies anymore, it's something that affects everybody. Entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, startups, small businesses and even private citizens. And if you don't know about it, you need to start learning now, and that's why we're putting out a lot of the material we've got here. Just to give you some statistics from last year, if you want proof of this, every 39 seconds there was a cyber attack in 2018. And of those, 43% of them in the US, we can talk about here because we've got the numbers, 43% were targeting small businesses and private sector. Just think about it in terms of those numbers. That means that you've got a 1 in 3 chance of getting hit. And if you get hit, it gets scarier when you work out what your chances of surviving, as a majority of them didn't actually survive 12 months after that cyber attack. And the key point about this is that it affects everyone. Now, in some free training and a couple of videos and maybe one of our basic, foundational courses, you're not going to learn how to get up there and start duking it out with the big professional organisations like the government cyber and government security organisations. But let me give you an analogy. If you live in, standard little house, you've got other houses around you, I bet you. And the criminals, when they come, could they break into your house? Yeah, of course they could. But if you've got a burglar alarm, you've got decent locks, they're not going to pick on you. Why? Because they're going to pick the easy target. So what we're trying to do now is to make you a hard target. So how are we going to do that? Well, as I said, I'm ex-military intelligence, but better than that, after I got injured when I was serving with the army on exchange, I became an instructor at the school. And I became an ACAT instructor at Clint. I was pretty good, they thought I was okay. And I really enjoyed the instruction and I really enjoyed getting information across to people. So the big thing about it is that we started to put together some courses, some really easy, digestible, simple stuff, but effective stuff that's going to enable you to protect yourself. So the Cyber Foundations course is really designed for all that list of people I gave earlier. So if you're a solopreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, if you own a small business, if you work in a small business, if you work in a big business but you want to know more about it, or you just want to work out how to protect yourself, start following the links here. Go to some of our free material, get our free ebooks, just sign up to some of our stuff, follow us on social media, and we're putting out real, practical, actionable stuff that's easy to do. Now, I'm not a techie. That might, so why is he talking about cyber if he's not a techie? Because it's not about the tech. The tech is part of it, and we give some tips around that. But the biggest thing is about the human being. Go back to what I said about the NHS and their experience of screwing up things. It was the people factors. And if you get your people factors right, which we'll teach you to do as part of this course and part of this training, then you are going to become that hard target. If you're that hard target, that's going to do you a lot of favours in the future. Why? Because 92% of attacks currently are being delivered by email. Email attacks only work if somebody clicks on them. So you'll be taught what not to do, what to look out for, what's a phishing attack. All these things are covered in the course. There's more detail actually if you go to the website and follow the links. If you're not interested in do that, don't do it. You don't have to. I'm not forcing you to be safe and to protect your tech and protect your company. But just think about it. Is it worth just finding out and taking a look? Over 52% of attacks are attributable to human error. And bear in mind what I said earlier, 43% of attacks are targeting small businesses, and that number's increasing. So click on the links, follow the stuff, get the free stuff. It's free. What have you got to lose? We're GDPR compliant, we have to be legally. So if you don't want us to market to you afterwards, just click the box and we won't. But this is one of your best options to find out what's really going on and what you can really do to be safe. Good luck.